When I was 7 years old, my grandmother gave me one rule about her house. Never count the stairs going up. And never count them going down. I didn't understand it then. I thought she was just being superstitious, like when she'd throw salt over her shoulder or refuse to open umbrellas indoors. But now I'm 32 years old, and I finally know why she made that rule. I wish I'd listened. My grandmother's house was old. Built in 1897, 3 stories tall, with a narrow wooden staircase connecting each floor, the kind that creaked with every step and seemed to groan under your weight. Growing up, I spent every summer there. My parents would drop me off in June, and I'd stay until school started in September. Lazy afternoons reading on the porch, helping Gran in her garden, catching fireflies at dusk. But I never forgot the rule. Never count the stairs, she'd remind me every time I visited. Promise me, sweetie, never count them. Why not, Gran? I'd ask. She'd get a distant, haunted look. Because some numbers are doors, she said. And some doors should stay closed. I never understood what she meant. When I was 17, Gran had a stroke. She survived, but her memories got fuzzy. By the time I was in college, she couldn't remember my name most days. The house stayed in the family but remained empty for years, slowly falling into disrepair, peeling wallpaper, broken shutters, a leaking roof. Last month, my aunt called. She wanted to sell the house, but first, someone needed to go through Gran's belongings, box up anything worth keeping, and throw out the rest. I volunteered. I shouldn't have. I arrived on a gray Tuesday afternoon. The house looked worse than I remembered. The porch sagged, windows were dark with grime, and the whole place had this feeling of abandonment, like it had been waiting for something. Or someone. I unlocked the front door and stepped inside. The smell hit me first, musty, stale air mixed with something else, sweet and rotten, like flowers left too long in a vase. The house was silent, not peaceful silent. Empty silent, the kind of silence that makes you aware of your own breathing, your own heartbeat. I started on the first floor, working my way through Gran's things. Old photo albums, clothes that smelled like mothballs, drawers full of receipts and random junk. It was slow, tedious work. By late afternoon, I'd finished the first floor and needed to move to the second. I stood at the base of the staircase, looking up. 14 stairs, clearly visible, leading to the second floor landing. And then I remembered the rule, never count the stairs. I even laughed to myself, it sounded so silly now. Something a child might believe, not a grown woman. But as I started climbing, the habit kicked in. I counted anyway. 1, 2, 3. The stairs creaked loud under my feet. 4, 5, 6. My footsteps echoed. 7, 8, 9. The air felt colder. 10, 11, 12. Almost there. 13, 14. I reached the top, turned around and looked back down. 14 stairs. Just like I counted. Nothing strange. I spent the next few hours on the second floor, sorting through more of Gran's belongings. Old books, quilts, a jewelry box full of costume jewelry. As the sun started to set, the house grew darker. I'd forgotten to turn on the lights, and shadows stretched across the walls like reaching fingers. I decided to call it a day, planning to return tomorrow to finish. I walked to the staircase to go back down and looked at the steps. And I counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My heart stopped. 15 stairs going down, but there had only been 14 going up. I counted again. Same result. 15. No, that wasn't possible. I walked down step by step, counting each one. 15. Impossible. At the bottom, I looked back up. 14. Only 14. I stood in the growing darkness, staring at those stairs. My grandmother's voice echoed. Some numbers are doors. I should have left. But I needed to know. I climbed again, 14 up, turned around, 15 down. Every time. The extra stair only existed going downward. I sat on the landing, trying to process it. Then it hit me. The staircase didn't have 14 steps. It had 13. The house was hiding one of the steps, the real 13th step. When I walked up, the house disguised it visually, so it looked like 14 steps. I unknowingly stepped right over the door, and it stayed closed. But going down? The real 13th stair appeared beneath my foot, turning the count into 15, 14 visible steps plus the hidden real step, the 13th, the step my grandmother warned me about. And then I heard it, footsteps coming up the stairs, slow, heavy, deliberate, creak, creak. I counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They stopped, right on the 13th stair, the one that wasn't supposed to exist. And I understood the house didn't have 14 stairs. It had 13. And something lived on the 13th step. The air turned ice cold. I could see my breath. Whatever was on that stair knew I'd counted. I'd opened the door. I ran, didn't count, didn't look, just ran, out the house and into my car. The next day, I told my aunt I couldn't finish. She was annoyed but said she'd hire someone else. 2 weeks later, she called again. The woman she hired had been found on the second-floor landing, sitting, staring at the stairs, not speaking, not moving. In her hand was a piece of paper, on which she'd written one number over and over. 13. 13. 13. 13. They say she still hasn't spoken. The house sold last week to a young couple with 2 kids. I thought about warning them, but would they believe me? Would you? If you ever find yourself in a house with a strange rule, no matter how silly it seems, follow it, because some rules exist for a reason and some numbers really are doors.